Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, March 29th, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. We continue to see a big-time stretch in price here as the ES has continued to push higher, is now on new highs, not seen since the first half of January. And we are now above the 4,600 level and above the prior pivot highs here, which was our short-term target here. Our short-term target was to get to 4580 to 4600 here to see how price plays out, and is now bursting through that level at 4607. Now, we mentioned how strong this rejection was before. Failed new low, extremely bullish move here. The biggest move we've seen to the upside of the year so far. But we haven't found a bookend rejection on this end yet. So at some point, we may need to see some sort of significant rejection that allows us to pull back and find the midpoint of this range, perhaps create a new key range here. But at the moment, this key range, our initial key range for the year, is one that continues to be in play. You see a tremendous rejection of prices below the key range low on multiple occasions, and now a return back to 44.76. And now approaching the upper end of the range at 47.39.5. That's going to be the next key level up above based off of the key range. So again, we'll see how this continues to play out. No signs of weakness just yet. And even if we do see a pullback of 1 or 2 days here, that's an opportunity here to buy the dip and see how far this thing can go at the moment. Now, from a rejection standpoint, if by the end of the day we close somewhere down here at 45.50 and have left behind a big tail, that could be significant. That could be significant. It again continues to show rejection here, here, and it would again show it here, and that could open up a pullback again. That brings us back to the midpoint of this impulse move. It could bring us back to a key range type of level here, market structure level 43.70. That could be in play. So again, by the end of the day, where are we? But as of right now, the market looks very strong and continues to hold at least above these prior pivot highs, 45.80s. If we take a look here at the NQ, you'll see again very strong bullish move. This failed new low that we called out last week led to a great turnaround Tuesday and a fade after trend day, and we continue to see that elongation without, again, a rejection. We need a rejection at some point here, and that could give us a nice key range that we can now build off of from this perspective. But if we don't see a rejection, this could be rather bullish for a while if we start to overcome market structure here. So the 15,250 here, that's the zone right there to get back above. If price can push through that area and transition through it and stay above it on a retest, you have a shot to go reclaim the previous year's close price, 16,331.5, and that is the break even on the year. It all comes in on the ability to push through that 15,250 here. So we're coming up to resistance here in the NQ. Very strong, no signs of weakness. And we're now above U.S. fiscal year composite VWAP. That right there, important as well. The last time we sniffed those levels, it led to a significant impulse sell-off. So again, there is the shot to hit the edge up here, reject at some point today or tomorrow, and pull back. If we did pull back, 14,250 could be in play, so plus 1,000 to the downside if you get some significant rejection here, but that has to develop. All right, let's take a look here at crude oil. Crude continues to see quite a bit of volatility. This volatility again, day over day, up or down 4, 5, 6, 7 points. And at the moment, it's averaging 7 points per day on a 10-day basis and 7 points per day on a 5-day basis. And right now, we're at 9.4 for today after yesterday's breakdown from this narrow range and a break through the 106 level. We have now starting to transition downward. I mentioned yesterday in the pre-market video, 116 to 106 is the range. If we fall out of that range, it's 106 down to 96. So right now, this pullback here is leading to weakness. This weakness could continue downward toward about 96. Again, not the best market to sell. At some point, once we do reach 96, expect to bounce back toward about 115, 116. Right now, that's the range. We've seen multiple passes up and down within that range over the past month. One up, one down, one up, and one down, with perhaps one more day to go until we reach the edge. Back over here, we held, and then we bounced right back. That could be in play yet again, especially given geopolitical circumstances that are leading to price being this high to begin with, and also maintaining the structure up here. So 96 is that edge where everything kind of changes. You know, does it drop below 96 and drop to 86 in this market? Not very likely, but again, that's the edge to watch. And right now, any test into that area could be an opportunity to bounce it back up. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin had a tremendous day in the previous session. Right now, trading 48,120. The previous day looks the part of a transition day, and that's what we've mentioned before, with this rounded bottom accumulation pattern, with price staying below the previous year's close. The accumulation in general here, what we needed at some point was a transition day, a day that took us well through 46K and closing at around 48. We talked about that before. We talked about that very recently. And on this move over here, that narrow 3-day range, that forecasted a move up toward 46. But we needed this day in order to really expand the range and open up the upside. Now, that looks the part. Today we've seen a pullback and hold already, so a check mark trend day. You would anticipate that the rest of the day pushes higher and pushes toward, say, 49. We could sit here and kind of digest these gains, but ideally, in a market like this, after a day like this, you would get a significant up day in the next session. So basically it's almost like this right here. You know, you get your big day up, you're holding here today. If it finishes like we look today, then the next day could look something like this, stop run day to the upside. You know, a couple narrow days, boom, you hold, and then you continue the next day. So we're still grinding to the upside here, a very bullish move. Another thing, higher value relationship heading into next month. Any pullback into that zone could be an opportunity to buy for a continuation to 52. 52 is the next level up above to test for Bitcoin. If we take a look here at Ether futures, this one led higher yesterday, up 10%. Also a transition day. This transition day happened through 3,300. 3,300, the level we talked about before. You had the 2,400 down here. And we mentioned if we can get through 3,300, it opens up a push that takes you back toward the previous year's close, but also could bring you up toward that 4K 4,200 level. You have this zone right here that's been in play before you dropped. If we're transitioning, there's a shot to go up toward the top end of that zone in around the 4,000 to 4,200 zone. So very, very bullish overall. Again, like Bitcoin, we have a higher value relationship here. Any pullback could be a buying opportunity for a continuation toward 4,000. The other thing I'd point to right now is this key range. That's your key range high, and we are through the key range high, closing above it yesterday. Key range midpoint, key range low. If there's a rejection here, you would return to this point right there. Right now, this doesn't appear to look like there's rejection coming. This looks like a bullish transition phase with an upward price discovery phase, which means that any pullback could be bought again for a continuation higher as this 8 period comes up to provide support. You've now gone sideways, and if you're expanding at the key range high, these are your upside targets right there, 40, 41, and 46.69 at some point down the road. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.